is up, guys? It's me, Max, coming at you again with another guitar lesson. This time around, we're going to take a look at Charlie Puth featuring James Tayloer, Change. And this song is kind of like a jungle, at least the verse, because there's buttloads of randomness going on, because most of the song is improvised, probably on the spot, I guess. And it's one of those songs which you won't hear an exact copy of on each concert, because every time it's going to be a bit different, I assume, if they play it live, at least. And that kind of makes it hard to, teach the song to you guys, but it's definitely possible, because I can show you what I do in the chorus, I can show you what I do in the bridge. Those parts are pretty much set, I think. I mean, they're not totally set. Once again, a lot of stuff is improvised in there as well, but they're set for the most part. And in the verse, I can show you guys, the guidelines. The intro, the first time we hear the verse, and as you see how those parts are played, you guys will know what to do in the rest of the song in the verse, because we've got the same chords over and over again. We just do different stuff finger picking wise. And I guess that's not too hard. I guess it's also something awesome because it gives us a lot of freedom, and it's something that you definitely don't hear in a similar way in the charts, which is great. I appreciate that. And without any further ado, we're going to jump right into that intro. So I'm going to try to make this as easy and basic as possible, because as I said, there's a lot of freedom to be left. So first of all, we put our capo onto the 2nd fret. And now let's take a look at the intro, because the intro is somewhat similar to the verse, and that is something we appreciate because it kind of leads us into what we do in the verse as well. So we put our first finger, our index finger, onto the 3rd string on the 4th fret. We put our 2nd finger onto the 5th fret on the 6th string. And now we use our thumb to pick the 6th string once. We use our 1st finger to pick the empty 4th string, and we use our 2nd finger to pick the 3rd string. So we go 6th string, 4th string, 3rd string. Just like that. Now our 1st finger jumps over onto the 4th fret on the 6th string. And we put our 2nd finger onto where we just had our 1st finger, meaning 4th fret, 3rd string. And then we do the exact same thing picking wise. We go 6th string, 4th string, 3rd string. So we've got, then we lift our 2nd finger off and pick the empty 3rd string. Just like that. Now we put our 3rd finger onto the 6th fret on the 4th string. This one. And we pick 6th string, 4th string, 3rd string. So far we've got now we lift our 3rd finger off, pick the empty 4th string, put our 1st finger onto the 4th fret on the 3rd string, pick that once, and add our 2nd and 3rd finger into a D shape. So we've got our 2nd finger onto the 4th fret on the 1st string, and we've got our 3rd finger on the 5th fret on the 2nd string. And we pick those two together. Like that. I know it's already confusing as hell probably for some of you, but bear with me. It's the easiest way I can show you how to play this. As I said, we go. We already know this part, then we go. We know that one, and then we go. Just like that. We've already got the first half of this intro covered, which is pretty amazing because it won't get any harder than this. It pretty much stays on the same difficulty level. And in the second half of the intro we go, we already know that. It's the exact same thing as in the first half. And then we go empty 6th string, 4th string with our 3rd finger on the 6th fret. And then we just pick the empty 3rd string and put our 2nd finger onto the 5th fret on the 2nd string. Just like that. So we go The second half sounds like this. And that is the entire intro. And we're going to move on into the verse, which is, as I said, rather similar. So what we're going to do here in order to show you guys how to play the verse is we're going to take a look at the first thing he does in that verse, because it is a perfect example of what we do throughout this entire song. The first time we hear that verse riff is going to be the last time we hear it this way, because it won't be repeated like that ever throughout the entire song. And that's the whole point of it, because what we do is we go so as in the intro, we put our fingers on like this, with the first finger on the 4th fret on the 3rd string and the second finger on the 5th fret on the 6th string. And once again we go 6th string, 4th string, 3rd string. Then we put our fingers on like this and go 6th string, 4th string, and now 4th and 3rd combined. That's already the first new thing here. We go like that. We know the chords, we know how to put our fingers on, and that basically won't change. And now we pick the empty 6th string. We know that. And then we put our first finger on to the 4th fret on the 3rd string, and our 3rd finger on to the 5th fret on the 2nd string. We pick those two together. Then we pick the empty 4th string, pick the 3rd string once, and now we put our second finger back into that D shape, so onto the 4th fret on the 1st string, and we pick the 1st and 2nd string together, like that. So we go that's something we won't ever hear again, but it's great that we've got it down, because then we go same beginning as always. And now we just immediately pick all 3 strings together on our second chord. I don't know why, won't ever happen again, but here we go. And then we pick the empty 4th and 3rd string together, like that. And now we pick the empty 4th string, hammer our first finger onto the 2nd fret, or well, basically the 4th fret. I just said 2nd because of the capo, but we go lift it off immediately. And now we put our first finger back onto the 4th fret on the 3rd string, pick it once, and put our 2nd and 3rd finger into that D shape, so we already know that, and we pick those 2 strings together, 1st and 2nd. And that is the entire second half of the first time we hear that verse. And as I said, this is a perfect example for what we can do in this verse, because we most of the times start like this, then some variation of the second chord. So we could go pick all 3 strings, do it like this, or every single one. And then we go on to the empty 6th string. We've got some variations to play around with here, and we always end up in that D shape. So those are the 4 chords that we have to use here, and that we can pretty much do whatever with, because as I said, that's what he does. So those are the guidelines for the verse, so go wild. And towards the end of the verse, we've got 2 new chords. In the first one, we put our first finger onto the 3rd fret on the 3rd string. Second finger goes onto the 4th fret on the 5th string, and pinky goes onto the 5th fret on the 2nd string. Now what he does the first time he uses this chord is he goes every single string on which we've got a finger once, so 5th string, 3rd string, 2nd string. And now as a transition to the second chord, he goes second finger onto the 4th fret on the 3rd string twice, lift it off, first finger on the 3rd fret on the 3rd string twice. I know it sounds kind of odd, but that is what he does there, so bear with me. And then we go empty 5th string twice, first finger onto the 4th fret on the 4th string twice, empty 3rd string twice, and second finger onto the 4th fret on the 2nd string twice. That is our second shape, this one. So we've got this chord and this chord. So what we do the first time we see those, we go like that. That's what we do in the chorus. Once again, we've got the same chords as in the verse, but we've got a different picking pattern. We put our first finger, once again, onto the 4th fret on the 3rd string, second finger onto the 5th fret on the 6th string, nothing new there. We pick 6th string, and now we pick the 4th and 3rd string together, like that. Then we put our first finger once again on the 4th fret on the 6th string, second finger once again on the 4th fret on the 3rd string, and we do the exact same thing. 6th string, 4th and 3rd together. Now empty 6th string and empty 4th and 3rd string. Then we use our thumb to pick the 4th string once while empty. And then we put our fingers back into that D shape, first finger on the 4th fret on the 3rd string, second finger on the 4th fret on the 1st string, and third finger on the 5th fret on the 2nd string. I know, guys, it's repetitive, but I think I'd rather show it more detailed again and again instead of not doing it at all. So we've got 4th string, 3rd string, 1st and 2nd combined. And that is pretty much all we do in the chorus. And as for the outro of the chorus, I'd go at least for the first chorus. For the second one, we can go like that. As I said, it changes every now and then. So once again, we've got our first finger on the 3rd fret on the 3rd string, second finger once again on the 4th fret on the 5th string, and pinky on the 5th fret on the 2nd string. And we go 5th string, 3rd string, 3rd and 2nd together, and we do that twice. Now first finger onto the 4th fret on the 4th string, and second finger onto the 4th fret on the 2nd string, and we go 5th string, 4th string, 3rd and 2nd together, 5th string, 4th string, 3rd and 2nd together. We only do that once in the first chorus and just leave it at that, but later on I'd repeat that as well. But I have to say I would, because, well, everyone could play it differently, as I said. So last but not least, we're going to take a look at the bridge, which was by far the most difficult part to figure out because he's using some extraordinary chords in there. So if any of you think that one or several of the chords that I'm going to show you guys are wrong or should be altered in some way, please leave that in the comments down below. I'm very appreciative for that sort of stuff because I guess, or I'm pretty sure that's what he's playing, but you can never be certain unless you're the artist yourself or unless it's very obvious and easy. But in this case, I'm very curious what you guys think about it. So, first of all, we've got our standard beginner's chord. And by beginner's chord, I mean we start with that chord in every single riff. And once again, we do here. We know it. It's nothing new. But now we get to the new chords. We put our first finger onto the 4th fret on the 6th string, second finger onto the 4th fret on the 2nd string, and third finger onto the 5th fret on the 3rd string. And we pick all of those 3 strings together once, which pretty much goes for every chord following this one. We only pick them once. And then we slide over here. So we leave our third finger where it is on the third string and slide up onto the 6th fret. We put our second finger onto the 6th fret on the 2nd string. And once again, we pick 6th string, 3rd string, 2nd string. So we go. Now we put our first finger onto the 3rd fret on the 5th string, second finger onto the 4th fret on the 2nd string, and third finger onto the 5th fret on the 3rd string. And now we stay in the exact same position and slide up 1 fret onto the 4th, 5th, and 6th now. So we go. Then we pick that one once more. That's the only exception. So we've got and then we kind of go back down. So we put our second finger onto the 5th fret on the 6th string, third finger onto the 5th fret on the 2nd string, and first finger onto the, or well, not first finger, pinky onto the 5th fret on the 1st string. Pick that once. And then we put our first finger onto the 4th fret on the 6th string, second finger onto the 4th fret on the 1st string, and third finger onto the 5th fret on the 2nd string. Like that. And then we slide our first finger back up onto the 5th fret on the 6th string, and we pick the 6th string and the empty 3rd and 2nd string now. Like that. And the final chord of the song is very, very easy. We put our first finger onto the 5th fret on the 2nd string and our third finger onto the 7th fret on the 1st string. Like that. We could add our thumb onto the 5th fret on the 6th string. Like that. Totally up to you. I'm using this one, but as I said, use your thumb if you feel like it. And that is the entire bridge. I know it's kind of hard to show the bridge without having the song like play in the background and jamming along to it, but you will know how to play this bridge because it's basically every single chord played freaking once, except for this one. Then we go back down. And in the end, we finish it. That is the entire song, guys. Hallelujah. We're done. We got through the jungle together, Indiana Jones style. So guys, thanks for making it to the end of this video. I know it's been kind of a rough video because, as I said, there's a lot of stuff that had to be left kind of open. But as I said, that's the entire point of the song, I guess. It being somewhat different, somewhat random, somewhat unpredictable, and that's great. And you know what's also great? We're done. We got through it together. And if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up. Helps me a lot. I appreciate it very, very much. And I also appreciate it if you want to see more videos and hit that subscribe button down below. Boy, I'm out of breath. Okay, gotta finish this outro though. So, as always, I hope that I will see you guys next time.